Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
Approved. Resolution 49, 2012, a resolution of the Lafayette City Parish Council establishing an increase in parking fees for the use of parking meters in accordance with the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances, Chapter 86, use of city and parish roadways and right-of-ways for traffic control and parking within the Traffic and Transportation Department Parking Division.
Need a motion and a second? A motion by Councilman Bertrand. Second by Councilman Andy Nakkan. Councilman Terrio.
Yes, I guess I have a question for ma'am. You came up, maybe you can come up and introduce yourself.
Good evening. I'm Pearlie Alfred, Parking Administrator
Nice
under
to meet
Mr. Trammell.
Thank you. One quick question is that, I don't know what would be easier for you, but dealing with the parking meters themselves, I guess myself to educate me specifically is that how much in a month's time does LCG receive in revenue from the meters that we currently have?
I can give you that. I can. I brought the chart. I didn't know exactly what information, but I do have it, and I can tell you that revenue. Right. We basically around that right now. We parking meters. We've collected a total of $185,000 out of the 200 that is projected. For
Right, and the increase would be bringing in an additional one.
The increase, we're looking, and the increase would bring in an additional $41,000 for the first year, is what he's anticipated.
And same question I asked on the previous ones. When's the last time, if ever, were these parking meter rates ever increased?
That was also around, no, we had an increase in parking meter fees. It wasn't until 1980, mid-1980s, when the fees, parking meter fees were increased.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Dugas, any other speaker? Any speakers?
Dale Grasso.
Grasso? Thank you, sir. And please call for the vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7? District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Approved. Resolution 50, 2012, a resolution of the Lafayette City Parish Council approving the appointment of Nixon Peabody as special counsel and authorizing the execution of a contract with special counsel.
Need a motion and a second? Motion by Councilman Patan. A second by Councilman Castillo. Councilman Terrio.
Can I get Mr. Aber with us on this one? Mr. Aber, just real quick, looking through the charter and what we have as a resolution, before this council, is this specifically our charter states, from what I understand, I could be wrong, you can correct me, is that it was supposed to be by ordinance and in contract form in order for us to appoint or use additional legal counsel.
I recognize that that had been done by ordinance previously and considered that specifically, but 403E of the charter actually says no special legal counsel shall be retained by the city parish government except by written contract for a specific purpose approved by the favorable vote of a majority of the authorized membership of the council. No reference to whether it be done by ordinance or resolution. And in section 211 of the charter, the list of things that requires that specifically requires an ordinance, there is no reference to the approval of special counsel in the manner that I just described to you. So it was my opinion that since a 403E requires a mere vote of the council, that an appropriate way to do that would be by resolution. which also happens to be quicker, of course, that doesn't require the six-week delay. But there's nothing in the charter that specifies that this need to be done by ordinance.
And we don't have to have a contract?
There is a contract attached to the resolution, but because of the kind of contract, it is a special counsel contract for who is in essence an assistant city parish attorney. 403E, it provides a special rule for that contract.
Okay. I also see here that there must be a written contract for a specific purpose.
Yes, sir.
403E says, however, the resolution the resolution that we have basically says that it's going to render legal services from the Office and Finance Department. Is that a specific?
Well, if you read the whereas provisions, including which are specifically adopted as part of the resolution in Section 1 of the resolution, it begins by saying the legal department has a need for an attorney who specializes in bond arbitrage rules and regulations of the Internal Revenue Service and associated advice concerning audits or examinations by the IRS, which is really the specific purpose, I think, that is involved here. Okay.
I guess the easy question here is why are we appointing additional legal counsel?
The need was brought to me by the Finance Department, and I think Ms. Toops can probably address the specifics far better than I could.
And Mr. Osborne is also here to answer any questions. When I was notified that we were going to have another IRS audit on our bond, on one of our bond issues.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So that's basically, we've been advised that it's another IRS?
It's another IRS audit, and when the IRS sends you that, they only give you like 2 weeks to provide the information. We learned our lesson several years ago, prior to when I came here. Lafayette learned its lesson when we were audited for some of the library bonds, and we had a penalty that we had to pay because of that. So we have since, rather than wait till we're down the line in the process of IRS audit and engaging legal counsel, we thought it was prudent to engage legal counsel at the beginning of the audit. And, you know, I did that based on the advice from Mr. Osborne.
Okay. The IRS audit that has been announced, I guess I got to be careful how I say this, is there anything that we're aware of that we have not done correctly?
No, Mr. Osborne might be able to explain a little bit more, but they're usually looking for arbitrage violations, which in this rate environment, it's almost impossible to have an arbitrage violation. An arbitrage violation would be if we borrowed money at 4%, and instead of spending it for what we told the taxpayers we were going to spend it on, we put it in the bank and earned 6%. Well, that 2% would be arbitrage, and the IRS would penalize us for that. We can't invest money right now more than what we're paying on bonds. So I really don't think there would be any violations as it relates to that. Another thing they would look at was to make sure that we spent the bond money in accordance with all the rules applicable to tax-exempt bonds. So they do look at what we spent it on. So those are kind of the major things I think they're looking at when they audit us. The reason why we were penalized before was because we had not spent the money fast enough, and there were a number of reasons for that. I understand after Katrina we had trouble with contractors getting rights away, and even one of our buildings that we were redoing had some asbestos problems. But all those things together, we were penalized because we had not spent the money fast enough, which is a third thing that the IRS looks at. So,
backing off.
Okay.
This appears to be a random audit.
And that was my next question.
They just randomly audit, just like they randomly audit all of us. You know, sometime in your life they just may call you in just because they decided to.
Okay, because I think you mentioned 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago we had an audit, and my next question was, we just had one, why are we having another one?
Well, you know, what they do, they audit so many utility revenue bonds, so many sales tax bonds, so many general obligation bonds, and you're just in the lottery amount. And of course, this government has a lot of has businesses that other people don't have, and the utility businesses, and so you have more exposure to being caught in more audits.
Is this audit specifically directed to
It's
LCG or
it's
to who?
specifically directed to the communications bonds, the fiber optic bonds of the utility system, the 2007 bonds.
Yeah. Now, with you here, and Mr. Aber, I guess, listen up. This, I guess, is in conjunction with an additional ordinance coming up, I think number 19, where we're appropriating $250,000.
They're not necessarily tied to each other, although, I mean, it's possible that in the future, I mean, some of the funds that are, I mean, it wouldn't be in this budget year, but it'd be in the upcoming budget year that there may be some increase in what would be necessary for legal fees in the 12-13 budget, but it's hard to make a prediction based on this one contract as to how much that's going to affect. But those two ordinances are not related because the ordinance coming up is for the current budget year,
And
of which there's only about 2 weeks left.
are these the only people that we could have received? And refresh my memory, I saw somewhere in the charter it specifically stated that the firm that we needed to get, if it was not locally, somebody who could do this. We don't have anybody locally in Lafayette that can do this kind of work?
I think Mr. Osborne could better address that.
We don't even have anyone in Louisiana that can do it. This is a specialization within a specialization within a specialization. And they just have some people that can do it and some people that can't. It so happens this firm, I think, has two areas which make it more qualified than other ones. You know, you've used QTAC Rock before. They did a fine job and they were very qualified and did good work. This firm was the underwriter's counsel for your 2007 issue. So they're familiar with the utility system. They're familiar with the form of the financing. They're familiar with the communication system. And we're hoping there's going to be a savings there because they don't have to be taught all of that. They already know about it. And the second reason is that they have a partner in the firm who they're going to assign to the job, Bruce Serchuk. And he was, before he went to work for Nixon Peabody, he was the head of the IRS division that deals with municipal bonds. And he's generally considered, the term in our business is he's a guru in the business. He's just almost a deity, you know. And so if there's anyone who can handle an IRS matter, can't think of any more qualified than someone that was a head of the IRS section dealing with municipal bonds.
Okay, because in the resolution, basically, it states that it's for the engagement, is for legal consultation, is
Right.
what we are
Right.
getting or providing services. Now, in addition, which is, I'm sure, would caught most of the council members' eyes here, and I won't use any names, but one individual's rate is $850 an hour, another one's $770 an hour, and another one's $355. That's a substantial amount of money to get legal consultation.
They're very expensive. I asked them how much they thought the total cost would be. They think it's going to be somewhere between $4,000 and $8,000 because we're all hoping that this will be a random audit, just a plain audit, but this is something that you will have saved money on if you, I think if you're, the most conservative approach is to have people that are fully qualified to handle it.
So you don't have any problem, you feel confident this is the way to go?
Like I say, I think the two arguments are, one is you don't have to teach them over again.
Right.
If you go to somebody else, like say QTAC rendered fine service for you before. They're easy to work with. They're all gentlemen and they're all qualified. But you would have to teach them all about this business. You would have to teach them the communication system, how it works, where the contracts are, and you'd have to teach them about the financing, how it's done, the flow of funds and so forth. and the people at Nixon Peabody already know that. They handled it. They worked on the issue in 2007. And then this connection that Mr. Surchak has with the IRS, he knows so many of the people that work for the IRS have worked underneath him when he was the head of the department. So I really can't think of any better arguments for anybody else in this particular matter. If in 5 years and 10 years we have an audit on another matter, we'll look at it in a different way.
And where did you say Nixon Peabody was from, Mr. Osborne?
Well, they have offices in New York and Washington, D.C. They have them other places too, but their big offices are in New York and Washington, D.C.
Now, with the legal consultation that's coming in with this firm, is the council going to be briefed, I guess, on if anything comes of this? Are we kept in the loop and it's...
Yeah, we're expecting that we're hopeful of the fact that it'll just be handled and then the IRS will just end its audit and nothing will come of it, you know, and then if
the last audit we had, it's been a year and we still haven't heard any. We provided everything through Q-Tech Rock.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's been a year and we haven't heard anything, so it could be over and maybe not. It's the IRS.
They don't pronounce that it's over.
But
they just stop calling you and they just stop writing.
And they haven't provided you with any definitive information as to...
No, and I checked with the legal counsel on that last audit a couple of months ago, and he said, you know, the IRS either lost interest, they answered all their questions, they don't have to file a report, you know, so as long as we don't owe any additional money, I think that we're happy, but certainly if we get any indication that we owe any additional money, well, we will be coming to you. But other than that, we don't really know where the issue is with the IRS. And I certainly don't want to call them up and ask them where it is, because, you know, if it's off their radar, and as this one I think will be, you know, we've looked at the information, I've looked at the little indicators to make sure it wasn't like some of that old money, and we met the different indicators that we were supposed to meet. So I'm hoping that it will be just, you know, maybe 4,000 to 8,000 in legal fees, and it'll be done with.
Okay, I just find it odd that they haven't responded to the last audit, and now here we're going to go around two, and from the last one, you don't know if there was...
But I think it's totally random. It looks like they're going in years, because the last one was about a year ago, and it was a 2006 issue. A year later, they're doing a 2007 issue. So it appears to be just they're looking at them as they come along, as they age. When they get to the 5-year mark, it looks like.
It was only about 3 years ago that they greatly increased the number of agents that they have. So they have more agents to perform more random audits.
Mr. Osborne, any other concerns? The council shouldn't have any concerns about the process? And
straight up thing, they have an audit. You really ought to have some qualified counsel to represent you, and those people are qualified, and I don't think you have any other reasonable course of action.
Thank you, Mr. Osborne. Mr. Aber, I'll get with you later on the follow-up ordinance on the $250,000 when it's coming up. I have a question on that, but I'll defer to my other council members who are in the...
Councilman Shelvin.
Thank you. Could you add in Mr. Stanley, please? We hired special counsel, I think maybe a couple years ago, didn't we? Is this the same firm? Or was another?
No, Q-Tech Rock was who we hired before.
Q-Tech Rock? Okay. Any reason why we didn't go back with them?
That's a decision that's made by the city parish attorney, so my law degree yields to him on that.
She was nodding while you were talking.
Yes.
When I asked the question.
We would hire Q-Tech Rock again in a heartbeat if it was for a general governmental bond issue.
This is specialized within specialized.
Yeah. If we hired them, we'd have to teach them all about the communication system, and I would probably incur 2 to 3 times the hours versus having that with Nixon Peabody. And actually, that was based on the recommendation of Mr. Osborne. Because my first thought was to hire QTAC Rock.
Okay, but they're not the deity.
Huh? No.
They're not the deity. Last
not
time I heard their words when I was watching Avatar, they were talking about trees and stuff. Mike?
Yes, sir.
How many hours? I heard Jerry made a comment that they're predicting anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000.
Oh,
But if my calculations are correct, that's only 2 hours. 2 to 4 hours. If all three attorneys are working at the same time.
They won't
Unless
be.
I'm misunderstanding.
Yeah, I don't think they'll all work at the same time.
Sarchuk's going to be in charge. The foot soldier is going to be the third person. I don't remember
Yeah,
who it
the guy
is.
making $355.
Right. That's going to be the foot soldier. Sarchuk is going to supervise him because he has a relationship with the IRS.
Okay.
And then Rappaport's expertise is in the communications part of it. So,
Which is why he's making the most.
Yes, of course, he is a recognized expert in his end of the field too.
Right.
That's why you employed him to be your underwriters counsel on that 2007 issue, because you needed.
They were?
They were the underwriters on the 2007 issue. So that's what I say, they don't have to be taught over again. Right. As you know, the discussion about the communication system comes up from time to time here, and there's sometimes some confusion here among all of us who have been discussing it before, because it's a very technically complicated thing. And you don't want to teach people over again.
I'm with you, Jerry. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, you're a deity too, man. So I trust what you say when it comes to this, all right? You're a guru too. But all I want to know is all three of them aren't going to be working at the same time, billing us by the hour, because that's $19.75 an hour.
And what we're hoping is...
Just say no, Jerry.
No.
I'm done. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Councilman Shelvin. Councilman Bertrand.
I just want to thank Mr. Osborne for the recommendation, because I've never had the privilege to hire a deity before. And quite frankly, I didn't know you could get one that cheap. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Dugas, any blue cards?
Dale Brasso.
Okay, I'm back again. I couldn't understand why you had to bring it up to council to get to hire a special counsel. I thought Mike had the authority, Mr. Hebert, I'm sorry, had the authority to hire a special counsel he does that for different things. But I understand it's in the charter or whatever. What I didn't understand was, what I took to understand anyway, as Mr. Osborne was telling y'all, this is a fixer. He's going to come in and fix things. So you need to hire him and take care of it, and let's get it over with. Don't want the IRS coming back on you. They're bad.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Dugas, any other speakers?
No, sir.
And please call for the vote.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6? District 7? District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes. Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Approved.
We'll now move to final adoption zoning. This is a public hearing. Blue sheets are available for anyone in the foyer wishing to speak. The 5-minute rule's in effect, and please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 164, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the official map of the city of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the city of Lafayette, Louisiana, 485 Ridge Road annexation, located generally south of Ridge Road and west of Rue de Bellier, which is located within Lafayette City Parish Council District Number 5 for voting purposes.
A motion by Councilman Bertrand. A second by Councilman Boudreaux. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugas, are there any blue cards? And please call for the vote.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1? I'm sorry, District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 215, 2012 12, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the official map of the city of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the city of Lafayette, Louisiana, 221 South Park Road annexation, located generally northwest of Mineral Road, southeast of South Park Road, and northeast of West Pinhook Road, which is located within Lafayette City Parish Council District Number 7 for voting purposes.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand, a second by Councilman Terrio. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugan, a blue card.
No, sir.
And please call for the vote.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
District 9.
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 216, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the official map of the city of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the city of Lafayette, Louisiana, 2871 Barrow School Road annexation, located generally north of Launaville Road, east of Barrow School Road, and south of Ambassador Caffrey Parkway, which is located within Lafayette City Parish Consolidated District Number 7 for voting purposes.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand, second by Councilman Terrio. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugan, any blue cards? And please call for the vote.
District 8,
Yes.
District 9,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 217, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the official map of the city of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the city of Lafayette, Louisiana, 912 West Butcher Switch Road annexation, located generally east of North University Avenue, north of West Butcher Switch Road, and west of Melanie Lane, which is located within Lafayette City Parish Council District Number 2 for voting purposes.
A motion by Councilman Bertrand, second by Councilman Castile. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugan, any blue cards? And please call for the vote.
District 9,
Yes.
District District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
District 8.
Yes.
Approved.
We will now move to final adoption. Council, this is a public hearing. Blue sheets are available for anyone in the foyer wishing to speak. The 5-minute rule is in effect, and please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 202, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to sell at public auction surplus vehicles, equipment, and other miscellaneous movable property which are no longer needed for public purposes as per the attached list.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand, second by Councilman Andy Nakkan. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugan, any blue cards? And please call for the vote.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
District 9.
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 17 has been pulled. Ordinance 219, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by adjusting revenues and expenditures in the Juvenile Detention Facility Fund, the Library Fund, and the Public Health Unit Maintenance Fund to reimburse the City General Fund and the Parish General Fund for fire and extended coverage insurance premiums and workers' compensation coverage insurance premiums paid on behalf of other funds from 2009 to 2012.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand,
Second.
second by Councilman Andy Nakkan. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugan, any blue cards?
Sir.
Our screens are blinking.
Still on the vote, previous vote.
We're going to go ahead and take a verbal vote, and please call the roll.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
District 8.
Yes.
District 9.
Yes.
District 2.
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 220, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing the use of prior year fund balance by $250,000 and appropriating within the legal department.
Motion by Councilman Terrio. Second by Councilman Andy Nakane. Councilman Terrio.
Mr. Hebert, if you don't mind, could you give us an explanation on what the increase is for, please?
Yes, sir. This is to close out the current fiscal year with legal fees. We are approximately at the end of the amount that was appropriated for the legal department. I think about $619,000 where it was appropriated for the legal department, and we have about $10,000 or so left in that budget. And there are some legal fees from the last 45 days or so that probably more like 60 days that need some attention. And this may not amount to a total of $250,000, but in order to make sure that we account for those invoices from outside counsel that we have not yet received, we wanted to make sure that we had adequate cushion to finish out the fiscal year.
And this would be for the ending of 11/12?
That's correct.
Okay. And most of these here, you as our head attorney and the administration's head attorney, is that you would disperse these funds in order to pay out those expenses that are basically on the books at this point?
That's correct. The process is that all invoices from all attorneys that do work from Lafayette Consolidated Government eventually cross my desk for review and approval, and that is a step in the process. After they leave my office, then they come to, I think they go to budgeting and then through various other parts of accounting in the finance department, in which they ultimately get paid.
Okay. Now, taking a step back toward the previous discussion with the new legal counsel that was just approved by resolution, the expenditures of that will also go across your desk, and you will just approve that regardless of, it will not come back before the council or anything?
No invoices of either assistant city parish attorneys or special counsel they typically do not come to this council.
So if the amount from that new firm does by chance increase to a substantial amount, that still does not come before this council?
Correct. That's correct. It's the only I guess catch or safeguard there is if I believe that expense is substantially in excess of what we anticipated, then we would question that and find out, the reason why. Still in all, I mean, it's always, you never can completely anticipate what kind of things might come up. So if there's a justifiable reason for that, then from my perspective, I would see no reason not to go ahead and pay that. But that does come across my desk for review and questioning if necessary.
Okay. And finally, the $250,000 requested here, none of that will be used to the new firm, for the new firm?
I'm sorry?
Of the $250,000 you're requesting to end 11 and 12 to pay expenses, none of that money will be directed toward the new legal firm, Nixon Peabody?
Probably not, but it can't be, only because their contract was just approved. But I mean, this is to finish out the 11-12 fiscal year. I don't know, unless Nixon Peabody does all their work in the next 2 weeks, then it might be, but you can't tell.
It could be, but I'm going to have to request a legal opinion as to whether or not I can even pay for these expenses from that money, or does communications have to pay for those legal expenses. So it may not come from that pot of money, but the IRS deadline is October the 18th. So this guy will start work first thing in the morning. Because when they send you an audit, they give you a 2 weeks notice. So it's not like you have a 6 weeks notice to bring something, to the council to engage legal counsel. They give you a 2 week notice, and they give you a list of information. We've already accumulated like 5,000 pieces of paper to satisfy this request. So.
I just signed the guy's contract, if that gives you any idea of the urgency of getting him on board. I just signed it after you guys signed the resolution.
Oh, just now? Within the past 5 to 10, 20 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Wow, you're fast, Mr. Avery. Ms. Toops, you just touched base on something which is a great point, and that this $250,000 going to Mr. Hebert is from the prior year fund balance. Now, you mentioned the amount that's going to have to go to the new legal firm
I'm not sure where that money
That
has to
may
come
have
from.
to be
We're gonna
paid
have
by
to-
the communications
Yeah,
department.
we're gonna have to
because
research
It's a
that.
separate department, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be coming from LCG.
We're going to have to research it because it's basically attributable to the bonds. So that's something we're going to work on in these next couple of days.
Okay, great point. Thank you, ma'am.
But whatever it is, whatever their bill comes out to be, it is subject to the limitations in the budget, so.
Okay, very good. Thank you both. Thank you. That's all I have.
Seeing no other council discussion, Ms. Dugai, any blue cards?
No, sir.
And please call for the vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1? I'm sorry, District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 221, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending ordinance 256, 2004, and ordinance number 422-97 to amend and restate fees for programs and facilities within the Department of Parks and Recreation.
A motion by Councilman Bertrand, second by Councilman Andy Nakane. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugai, any blue cards?
Dale Brasso.
Who's killing the dead horse?
And please call for the vote.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 222, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $219,852 and accepting the transfer of the federal interest in used compressed natural gas buses, fare boxes, and other related equipment received from the Federal Transit Administration, Section 5307, Urbanized Area Formula Grant Number LA 90X392-01, and appropriating these funds along with the required match in the amount of $45,927 within the Traffic and Transportation Department Transit Division.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand, second by Councilman Andy Nakane. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugai, any blue cards?
No, sir.
And please call for the vote.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 223, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues received from the Federal Highway Administration Recreational Trails Program in the amount of $89,300, increasing the use of net loss use of fund balance by $22,325, appropriating within the Traffic and Transportation Department Planning Division, and authorizing the Lafayette City Parish President to execute any agreement with the Office of State Parks, Department of Culture, Tourism, and Recreation for the disbursement of monies from the Phase 2 of the Attakapaw-Ishak Trails.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand, second by Councilman Andy Nakane. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugai, any blue cards?
Sir.
And please call for the vote.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 224, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues and appropriating funding for expenses projected to be received from transactions at the public compressed natural gas refueling station owned and operated by the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government, and appropriating within the Public Works Department and authorizing the Lafayette City Parish President to execute any and all needed contracts for operations and maintenance of Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government's public compressed natural gas refueling station.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand.
Second.
Second by Councilman Boudreaux. Councilman Terrio.
Mr. Mitchell, if you have a minute, sir, just one quick question. Right here, it says in the ordinance that the city parish president has the ability to execute any and all needed contracts, which is fine. But in the event that we encounter, if we were to encounter any problems with the CNG, would that come before the council in reference to problems of expenses or anything associated with that?
What do you mean, problems with CNG?
This here it says that this is dealing with a public compressed natural gas refueling station, which here we are going to execute any and all contract needed for operations and maintenance, which means if the operations and maintenance were to incur additional expenses above and beyond what they should be, would that come back before the council?
I think that would be covered in one of the.
That's Ms. Toops.
Ms. Toops.
Ms. Toops.
The amount we're able to expend for any of these line items is limited to the budgetary revision there. Hopefully, we'll find that the station is very successful and we have more revenues coming in, which would mean more expenses, but we will still have to come back to you and tell you that we're selling more CNG and we need to increase some contracts. So we will have to come back to you for anything over these limits set in this budget revision.
Okay. So
we're open. It's going to be its own fund. It's not going to be a division of traffic of TNT. So
our public works, right?
Yeah. So that way we won't be able to move money from other sections to here without coming to you. If there's any changes in here in operating that station, it will have to come to you.
It'll have a budgeted amount. Anything above and beyond that comes to the council. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Stoops. That's all I have, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Dugani, blue cards. And please call for the vote.
District 8? District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 225, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the filing of a grant application under the fiscal year 13 Environmental Protection Agency's Brownfields Community-Wide Assessment Grant Program.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand. Second by Councilman Andy Nakhan. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugani, blue cards.
Dale Brasso.
Thank you. And please call for the vote.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
Approved. Ordinance 226, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending Section 94-87 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances, establishing participation fees and charges for an opt-out from the remote meter reading program.
A motion by Councilman Bertrand. Second by Councilman Castillo. Councilman Andy Nakhan.
Well, Mr. Dion?
Yes, sir.
We all understand the need for the opt-out option. Are you going to present to the council the reasons why behind it? Or?
I could. I mean, I did a presentation at the LPUA. I think Mr. Castillo saw it as well. But I mean, it's a relatively short presentation. But if you don't need me to say, I'll respect whatever your wishes are.
You don't want to? No? Okay. Again, going back to where I had gotten there earlier, I'd like to present before the council an amendment to adjust this fee to $6 a month instead of the $12.20 per month. I'd like to present that amendment this time, please.
The amendment on the floor to adjust the fee from $12.50 to $6 by Mr. Andy Nakhan. I need a second. Second by Mr. Terrio. Mr. Terrio, you wish to speak on the amendment?
Not on the amendment. I'll talk afterwards.
Councilman Bertrand, you wish to speak on the amendment?
I want to call the question.
On the amendment?
The amendment?
All right. The question has been called for the question on the amendment. We're now voting on the call of the question. And, well, Mr. Hebert, am I doing something wrong here?
No, sir. No, sir. I was trying to catch up. I was making sure we had a second and wanted to see if we had blue cards. And also, I was going to make the point that The LPUA, this came up with the LPUA, and the LPUA did not vote for the amendment. So if the council votes for the amendment, which is certainly within its rights to do, it creates a legal issue for us to deal with about the inconsistency between the two votes and
All right, do I have a second on Mr., let's address that. Do I have a second on Mr. Bertrand's call of the question?
Second.
Second by Mr. Patan. Mr. Hebert, are you saying instead of call the question, I should take blue cards right now? Or no? I misunderstood you.
the call for the question is on the amendment.
That's correct.
Yeah, then I
So-
don't have any problem with
We're good.
voting on the amendment.
And please, call the roll for the call of the question.
District 2? District 3? District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
Approved.
We will now vote on the amendment.
District 3? No. District 4?
No.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
No.
District 8?
No.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2? Motion fails.
Councilman Shelvin.
I'd like to call for the question.
Need a second on the call for the question from Councilman Shelvin. Second by Councilman Castile. We'll now vote on the call of the question on the ordinance.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
No.
District 6? District 7? District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
No.
District 1, I'm sorry, District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Motion's approved.
And please call the vote on the ordinance.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
No.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
No.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Ordinance 228, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council temporarily changing the polling locations of precinct 72 from the University Student Union, 600 McKinley Street, Student Union Building, to Lafayette Consolidated Government Building, 705 West University Avenue, for the November 6, 2012, and the December 8, 2012 elections, as authorized and in accordance with the applicable revisions of the Louisiana Election Code, Louisiana Revised Statute 18-1 exec.
Okay, we do have an amendment on this, Mr. Hebert.
Yes, sir. Put on the floor first, and then we'll talk, if you can get a motion to put on the floor. And then
Motion by Councilman Bertrand. Second by Councilman Castile. Mr. Hebert.
Since the time of introduction, we were advised by the Clerk of Court's office of another precinct that also needed to be moved, and I think you have before you an amended ordinance which added Precinct 52, moving it from NP Moss Annex to the Mudd Avenue Fire Station. And appropriate amendments are made in the title, Section 1 and 2, to reflect that additional movement of that additional precinct.
Councilman Bertrand, I need a second. Motion to the amendment. Councilman Castillo seconds the amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? Any blue cards on the amendment? And please call for the vote on the amendment.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
The amendment's approved.
Councilman Boudreaux.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if the administration could help out with this or legal. Who is ultimately responsible for the advertisement and all the costs associated with making voters know and realize that a precinct location has been changed?
Statute says the parish governing authority.
Okay. Do we have any plans, or can anybody speak to what plans are in place to, on election day and prior to election day, what efforts are going to be put forward to advertise that issue? And
the statute has some specific things that have to be done, including posting a notice at the old polling place saying where the new polling place is, and stationing someone there. I don't think that's a legal responsibility of us, but
I know the clerk of court has some responsibility as well.
And I think that stationing of a person there, I think that's the clerk of court's responsibility. The statute is a little bit vague on this, what I'm about to describe to you, but it also provides for such advertisements as are practicable with the title Notice of Change in Voting Location or words to that effect. The statute is specific on what the title has to be, but it doesn't prescribe, as I recall, a specific advertisement or timing of advertisement. It just says such advertisements as are practicable.
Does it have any language that says what is the deadline for the changing or the moving of a polling location?
Yes, it does. I don't have the statute in front of me, but I'll be happy to pull it and find out. It has to do with qualifying deadlines and you know, another notice that just occurred to me that's required is the candidates have to be notified directly of the change as well. But I'll pull the statute.
I'm assuming we're within the timelines, but we're a few weeks away from the election.
Yes, sir. We're still within the timelines to be able to do I mean, barely, but we're still within those timelines.
I would like, if you could, not necessarily for now, because like I say, I'm sure we're within those timelines, but I'd like to become knowledgeable of when is that last day, if it's a 2-week window, a 1-week window, because today being the 16th, we're what, 3 weeks? We're about 3 weeks out. I did contact the clerk of court office, and I made them aware of what I would like to see happen, and whatever we have to do here, I certainly want to move with as much notification and information as possible as it relates to this issue. I don't see this as an intent, but I think this is what makes voters very uncomfortable. There's a location, this location is being moved from NP Moss Annex as recognized today to Fire Station number 4. And in between those two locations, there's a voting location at the Domingue Center. And when I raised the question to the clerk of court, why wasn't it simply moved next door as opposed to requiring for someone to get into their vehicle and travel again to vote, which, you know, like I indicated to her, if they told me I had to drive to Washington to cast my vote, I'll do that. Unfortunately, everybody don't view voting the way I do. And I'm afraid that we're going to lose some voters. And I felt that we could have done a better job as far as selecting the location, because the Domingue Center has a full gymnasium, and in some of our schools and other places, we have as many as up to 5 precincts. So, and there's only 2 at the Domingue Center as we speak today. But I'm going to ask that we do as much as we possibly can within the means of the law to make sure that the voters of that precinct is notified of this change. And then I would like us to see what options do we have as a governing body to set timelines when these types of changes need to be made, because I mean this is extremely close, and notifying the candidates is one thing, but the voters is the most important thing, and that's what my concern is.
I think that you're doing it now. Excuse me, Norma, go ahead.
No, the registrar of voters, if this is approved tonight, tomorrow they will send out temporary voter registration cards to all the registered voters in these precincts, advising them of the change.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good measure there. Okay.
In addition to the statutory requirements and the action by the registrar, I see Mr. Persack and Mr. Burgess both writing feverishly as well, so they will get something out. You're doing it now here. And information is one point, accommodation is another point, and that is that we're going to accommodate a larger number of voters here. So I've had a meeting with Jim Grow already internally to reserve the corner parking lot with barricades and supervision as we have done before, but to expand the number of parking places in the corner, and also to communicate to our employees the day before to make sure that that is left open and free for passage so we can accommodate having the 2 precincts here instead of 1.
Yeah, and that's a good measure. I don't know what could be done around Fire Station number 4. That's a Tuesday, so I'm sure the golf course will be open, and there's limited parking at that station already.
Anyway. Yeah.
We trying to get out of fire stations, and that's what I shared with the clerk. I said, there's some measures coming forth in the next year to try to get out of all of our fire stations for other issues. So to add a precinct was like, what are we doing? But whatever we could do for parking purposes there as well, on-street parking, once that crowd comes, because I'm sure they're anticipating a pretty large turnout. Anything as it relates to parking there would be appreciated as well.
You want to go door to door? You and I aren't busy that day.
I'm a little busy that day,
Well,
but I know you're going to need to make some contacts in that area for a future endeavor.
work
you're
that
gonna
out, sir. It's all doable.
I don't know.
Got any GOTV?
Mr. Hebert, for the record, what was the reason for moving this precinct?
According to, this is just what I've been told. So according to what I've been told, there were, in both instances, it's some construction issues.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Dugan, any blue cards?
No, sir.
And call to vote on the ordinance as amended.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
Approved as amended.
We now move to announcements of vacancy in boards and commissions, and please read the following.
Due to a term expiration, a vacancy will exist on the Acadiana Resource Conservation and Development Commission for a 3-year term effective February 2nd, 2012. Due to term expirations, 2 vacancies will exist on the Industrial Development Board for a 6-year term effective March 1st, 2012. Due to a term expiration, a vacancy will exist on the Hyman Performing Arts and Convention Center for a 4-year term effective November 21st, 2012. This is a minority appointment. Due to term expirations, 2 vacancies will exist on the Keep Lafayette Beautiful Committee for a 2-year term effective December 1st, 2012. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancies must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. Act 472 of the 2008 Louisiana Legislative Session, now codified as Louisiana Revised Statute 42:1124.2.1, requires financial disclosure under certain circumstances. Resumes are to be forwarded to Norma Dugas, Clerk of the Council, P.O. Box 4017-C, Lafayette, Louisiana 70502, no later than noon Tuesday, November 6th, with council appointments to be made on November 20th, 2012.
We now move to consideration of appointments by the council as a whole to the following boards and commissions. And please read item number 31.
Appointment to the Lafayette Airport Commission for a 4-year term effective October 30th, 2012.
Councilman Patan.
Yes, sir. I'd like to nominate someone from the floor. I had an individual, a constituent of mine, had submitted his resume and information to me, and in the process, Ms. Norma didn't get it to post it to be consideration. I'd like to nominate from the floor an individual named Jeff Brevell.
Mr. Patan has nominated Mr. Brevell. Mr. Castillo.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Mr. Paul Gilbo.
Mr. Castillo nominates Mr. Gilbo. Mr. Bertrand.
I just wanted to remind everyone that Mr. Gilbo is the incumbent. He has 4 more years to serve, and then he'll have to give up the seat. And I'll be supporting Mr. Gilbo, and he has served as chairman in that capacity 2 years, and he's done a great job. Also met with Mr. Brevell, explained my position with Mr. Brevell. And I think that sometime in the future, Mr. Brevell will probably make a real good addition. But at this time, I'm going to support Mr. Gilbo. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And please call.
Before you vote, we had a blue card turned in.
Okay. Anyone wishing to speak that filled out their blue card? Ms. Dugas?
Jeff Brevell.
Good evening, Councilman. Thank you for your time. My name is Jeff Brevell. I'm a lifelong resident of Lafayette, and I've made a life's work of the airport. I started at the airport in 1969, young boy, riding my bike, sweeping floors, doing every job that there is that you could imagine on the airport proper. Over the years, this association with the airport has given me a wonderful career. I've gone to 6 continents. I've flown for governments. I've flown for individuals. I've sprayed oil spills and crops and fires. I've hauled people, dignitaries throughout the world. In all of this time, I've also had to deal with other airports and their authorities and their governing bodies. Many, many times having to negotiate for fuel, landing rights, security issues, anything that you can imagine, and some things that you probably can't. Our airport has done a great job. They're moving ahead, looking ahead, doing everything they can. But as Mr. Bertrand pointed out earlier, technology is coming along and we have to embrace it. And I feel that with my outside abilities, with the other airlines, and with mechanics, inspector, working with the FAA, writing manuals to get airports approved and also airlines approved for international operation, and ready to address the upcoming situations that we're going to have at the Lafayette Airport in the next 3 to 4 months. Everything from the travel document fiasco to the overpaving and closing of a runway to the complete resurfacing of the ramp area, which is going to affect many of the businesses at the airport. And I just would like the opportunity to serve. The airport has given me a great career, and I'm very proud of it, and I'd like to give something back, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm seeking your appointment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. And we'll call the vote. I guess we go Bravel or Gilbo down the council line, please.
District 8? District 9?
Gilbo.
District 2?
Gilbo.
District 3?
Gilbo.
District 4?
Gilbo.
District 5?
Gilbo.
District 6?
Gilbo.
District 7?
Gilbo.
District, I'm sorry, Mr. Gilbo has been approved. Appointment to the Lafayette Airport Commission for a 4-year term effective October 30th, 2012, and must reside in the unincorporated area of Lafayette Parish.
Councilman Castillo.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Carol Robichaud.
Mr. Robichaud has been nominated. Seeing none others, and a yes or a no for Robichaud will do.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
Mr. Robichaud has been approved. Appointment to the Board of Zoning Adjustment, alternate number 1, for an unexpired term effective until January 19th, 2014.
I need a nomination from the council. Or it's not. Councilman Castillo.
I'd like to nominate Mr. How you see his last name?
Was that even a nomination? Excuse me.
He's in the book.
Or is it just a straight-up appointment? We're on number 33. It says an appointment of.
Okay, I'm sorry.
One applicant.
It's still a nomination, or it's the same like...
Yeah, we still have to do it.
Okay, Mr. Castillo, you stand?
Expired term until January 19th.
Cloninger.
I'm sitting down. Mr. Collinger.
And please call the roll for the council. A yes is for Corey.
Cloninger.
Councilman Terrio.
One quick question here, and Mr. Aber, you might want to look at this on the ordinance. Mr. Andy Nakhan just pointed this out, in that the verbiage here at the bottom basically states that for an unexpired term until January 19th, 2012.
It's a typo.
It was a typo.
I had not noticed that.
So we're okay with that?
Well, what is the end of the unexpired?
We've passed that.
2014.
2014.
That can be corrected as a clerical matter. I mean, it's to fill the unexpired term, but as long as we all understand it's 2014.
2014?
We can address
Okay.
that.
So it's good, Mr. Hebert?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good catch.
And we'll vote yes or no for Corey, and I apologize, Cloninger, if I'm butchering it. Yes would be for Mr. Corey.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Cloninger.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Mr. Cloninger?
District 8?
Mr. Cloninger.
District 9?
Yes.
Approved.
Yeah, I want to pull item number 35, 37.
Let's see. Appointments by council members and our city parish president and our area mayors and or any other direct appointing authority. From Council District 5, Mr. Dave Young to the Lafayette Parish Waterworks District South for a 4-year term effective October 25th, 2012. From District 5, Johnny Stenson to the Lafayette City Parish Recreation Advisory Commission for a 4-year term effective October 25th, 2012.
Mr. Hebert.
Mr. Chairman, it's been brought to my attention that someone turned in a blue card on ordinance 226-2012, item number 25, and I was not aware that at the time the council called for the question, the provisions of revised statute 4214D provide in pertinent part that, quote, each public body conducting a meeting which is subject to the notice requirements of revised statute 4219A shall allow public comment period at any point in the meeting prior to action on an agenda item upon which a vote is to be taken. The governing body may adopt reasonable rules and restrictions regarding such comment period. It's been my opinion that the blue card procedure is a reasonable rule and restriction on that, and you can require that people who don't turn in a blue card on time not speak. It's also been my opinion that if there's been some opportunity at some point for the public to comment, for example, you had one where there was comment and introduction and you decided for whatever reason on the same exact matter not to allow it at final, that can also be a reasonable rule and restriction. However, I was not aware in this circumstance that there had been a blue card turned in and the council voted on the call for the question without considering the individual who turned in the blue card. So it's my opinion that the council should recall up ordinance 226-2012, allow the gentleman who turned in the blue card, if he wants to speak, to have his opportunity to speak, and the council should revote on the matter because a potential, I'm not saying that this is necessarily, this is a very vague provision of law, but out of an abundance of caution, the ultimate penalty for a violation of this provision would be that the action could be considered void. So out of an abundance of caution, I would suggest the council revote on the matter. It's not necessary that you reenact the entire thing and go through the amendment and all that, but just a vote on the ordinance, it would be appropriate in this circumstance. And I apologize that I did not realize that at the time that an individual had turned in a blue card. That was brought to my attention after the vote.
Okay. Councilman Boudreau.
Mike, just for educational purposes, there has been call for questions on many occasions.
Yes, sir.
Going forward, are you saying that whenever a blue card is in the hopper, that a call for the question should not be honored because a person should be allowed to speak? Does that take away from an individual councilman's ability to call for that question?
If you just have one or two blue cards, I would say yes, a call for the question would be inappropriate at that point. I mean, you've had circumstances where you had 30 blue cards, and I see no reason why this council would need to necessarily, if it felt that this was just repetitive and dragging on and on, why the council would need to entertain each and every one of those blue cards. Again, this is a relatively new provision of the law, and the interpretation is not that clear, so caution is certainly dictated. And so if you have, like in this circumstance, just one blue card, then it would be my advice that the council ought to allow the blue card before they vote on the matter.
I would think that the 28th person in a 30-person blue card signage would feel the same way as that first person if it was just one. So what I'm going to ask is that, not tonight, I mean, I think what you're doing here is just great legal work. But what I'm going to ask is that you give us a written opinion on that, if you could look at this a little closer when you have the time.
Certainly.
Because I think that's going to kind of dictate what direction some of these things go in the future, whether it's 1 or 30 who sign in. I mean, I love to hear Mr. Brasso speak. He's in District 3. District 3 called for the question. He could take care of that at the ballot box, you know, if he so choose. But I would think that the 28th, 29th, or 30th person is going to feel the same way as number one. So I would certainly like some clear direction on, is that something that's available to us or not as a council?
Absolutely.
And then we could move accordingly.
And I would just tell you in advance, I doubt you're going to get a very satisfying answer because of the way this law is poorly written.
So
but I'd be happy to give you, I mean, I'd be happy to try to draw some lines for you where you can, you know, cut off and things like that. And again, I want to apologize to the council. Had I understood that there was a blue card out there, I would have made a comment at the time. So I wanted to wait at least until before you got to the intros to make that comment.
Okay. That's all I have.
Councilman Shelvin.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Ms. Davis, do we need to reread the ordinance?
Yes, sir.
And please read ordinance 0226-2012.
An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending Section 94-87 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances, establishing participation fees and charges for an opt-out from the remote meter reading program.
Need a motion and a second. A motion by Councilman Castillo, a second by Councilman Bertrand. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugas, any blue cards?
Dale Brasso.
Mr. Brasso.
It's just a point of what the law says. And the law says, as I understand it, that if you're voting on a final adoption and there's a public blue card or whatever it is there, they must be allowed to speak before you vote. I had spoke earlier at the prior meeting at 4:30 about this same issue. I disagreed with the cost that they came up with, and but I did have an understanding that y'all had took some steps to address it, and that's good. I just want you to understand that I think the public should have a right to speak. That's what you asked us to do. And then when we fill the cards, you don't want us to do. So, and I'll address my concerns with my councilman after, but I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I know it's a busy night. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'll come talk to you and Ms. Diaz at the house later.
And please call for the vote.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
No.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
No.
District 2?
Yes.
Motion's approved.
We will now move to introductory ordinances. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to speak and address the council. The 5-minute rule is in effect. I need a motion and a second from the council to consider all other introductory ordinances in globo. I have a motion by Councilman Terrio, second by Councilman Bertrand. And please read the ordinances.
Ordinance 229, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 12-13 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by redistributing appropriations for personnel salaries, retirement, Medicare, and group life insurance within the office of the City Court of Lafayette. Ordinance 230, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 12-13 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing the use of parish general fund prior year fund balance in the amount of $40,592 and increasing revenues in the amount of $3,592 for salaries paid by the district attorney to fund promotions due to the resignation of office administrator. Ordinance 231, 2002, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council revising the pay plan for the employees of the City Marshal's Office for fiscal year 2000 2012-2013. Ordinance 232, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council adopting a pay plan for the Lafayette Police Department for fiscal year 12-13. Ordinance 233, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council funding and approving a pay plan for the Lafayette Fire Department for fiscal year 12-13. Ordinance 234, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 12-13 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Council by increasing revenues in the amount of $14,808 received from the Louisiana Commission on Law Enforcement, authorizing the transfer of matching funds in the amount of $5,477 from prior year fund balance, City General Fund, and appropriating within the Lafayette Police Department. Ordinance 235, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the filing of an application with the United States Department of Homeland Security for the assistance of firefighters fire prevention and safety grant for the Lafayette Fire Department. Ordinance 236, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 12-13 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $14,676 received from the Federal Transit Administration, Section 5309, Capital Grant Number LA04000504, and appropriating within the Traffic and Transportation Department, Transit Division. Ordinance 237, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 12-13 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $479,762 received from the Federal Transit Administration, Section 5309, Bus and Bus Facilities, State of Good Repair, Grant Number LA04004300, and appropriating within the Traffic and Transportation Department, Transit Division. Ordinance 238, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council declaring the building or structure located at 1116 South Sterling Street, Lafayette, Louisiana, owned by Preston Tebow and Choi Benjamin to be dilapidated and dangerous to the public welfare, and ordering the condemnation of same.
Ms. Dugan, any blue cards?
No, sir.
And please call for the vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7? District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Approved.
This meeting's adjourned. I'd like to call to order a special meeting of the Lafayette City Parish Council. This is a public hearing. Blue sheets are available for anyone in the foyer. The 5-minute rule is in effect, and please read the resolution.
Resolution 51, 2012, and resolution of the Lafayette City Parish Council establishing an exception to the qualification requirements established for the elected police department representative to the Lafayette Police and Fire Civil Service Board as authorized by Louisiana Revised Statute 33:2476B1C.
I need a motion and a second from the council.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Boudreau, Councilman Boudreau. Second by Councilman Castile. Councilman Terrio.
Mr. Hebert, if you don't mind, just a quick question. Previously, whenever we were appointing to boards and commissions, the rule of law was what in dealing with this? Could you clarify?
This statute is specific to municipal fire and police civil service boards, 33:2476, and it prescribes some waivable residency requirements. And what's at issue here is this provision that I'm about to read to you. With respect to the 2 members elected from the municipal fire and municipal police departments, such members shall be residents of the parish in which the municipality they are to serve is located for a period of at least 5 years preceding their appointment. And what you're doing here is permitted by the next section of the same law, which says, notwithstanding what I just read to you, the members elected from the municipal fire and the municipal police department shall not be required to be residents or qualified voters of the municipality in which they are appointed to serve, or residents of the parish in which the municipality is located, provided that such exceptions are approved by resolution of the local governing authority, which is what that's the purpose of this resolution, is to provide for that exception for the police member only.
And this is only for one individual that apparently does not live in Lafayette Parish?
Well, the way this resolution is worded, unless it is later rescinded by the council, it's general in nature and would apply to whoever the police member is of the Police and Fire Civil Service Board, that he would not be required to live in Lafayette Parish.
And would this apply only for this particular situation, or would it extend for any other situation in the future that would apply?
Any other situation, as long as this resolution is on the books, it would be any situation.
Specifically designated toward fire and police only?
Police only, actually.
Police
This is
only.
police only.
And you don't have a problem with that?
Legally, no, sir, not at all.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Councilman Boudreaux.
Just to bring a little bit, some additional clarity what Mike has offered, this is what's happening here. For the Police, Fire, and Civil Service Board, you must reside within the municipality in which you're being assigned. State law, as he indicated, allows for an exception when a resolution is adopted by the governing authority. The determination on who's going to serve is going to be by the employees of that department. We're not appointing anyone, assigning anyone. In this case, the police is going to vote, the employees of the police department is going to vote on the individual they want to represent them on the Police and Fire Civil Service Board. This is not specifically for one individual. It is for any member or any individual who would qualify under these terms, meaning outside of the city limits of Lafayette. And I would add that there's also a mandate of a 30-mile radius within City Hall. So although a person may be in the unincorporated area or in another municipality, they still have to be within 30 miles radius of City Hall. Right. And then, and as it relates to how long this lasts, this is, as he indicated, a resolution that will be standing until otherwise repealed. So this matter would not have to be revisited again. I was one individual of this council, I think, who was approached to consider this, and I asked that it be brought forward. And my level of comfort is that the employees are going to still make the final determination. We're just opening up the doors for any and everybody who's employed by the department to be eligible, to allow them in. As far as residency rules where we make the appointment, yeah, those things are viewed a little differently, especially when they're not employees of this particular government. But in this case, this person has to be employed, qualified by employment, and voted upon by his or her peers. So that's what makes me comfortable with this action. And it's on, although it's for police and fire civil service, this is only on the police side of it. I don't know what the statute calls for as far as the fire side of it. If that was to happen, I'm sure someone would have to step forward and ask for that resolution. But, and I think there may be as many as 2 or 3 people who's going to fall into this category who at least one person of the police department is interested in seeing them serve because they have to be nominated. Once this happens, a person still has to be actually nominated by the department, by someone of the department, and then voted upon by those employees. So I hope that kind of clears things up a little bit. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ugani, blue cards.
Dale Brasso.
For the question.
Yeah, call.
I'm not going to call. Speak.
I got 5 minutes, don't take my time. The reason I came up to speak about this is I used to represent labor, and I understand contracts, and I understand representatives. On the Civil Service Board, it's a little different, and it is by the people that they voted on. But when you start changing things, and you start changing just for police, not for fire, I think if it's good for one, it should be good for all. I don't think we should change anything as far as somebody being out of an area. I think you should have a representative that's from within your area to represent your people. I think they have a better understanding of the area, and they have a better obligation to represent the people from within the area, because they are from the area. You start getting people from out the area, you may not like what you're putting into effect tonight. But again, you know the people are going to vote on it. And I agree with Mr. Boudreaux that the people vote for it, and the people that are working here vote for that. So I think that's good. But I just had an idea that when you start changing words and start changing exceptions, and they said this exception is for everybody, I guess, from what I understand, so that's good. I thought it was just for one specific purpose. And I think it should really be, I think you should think about, if you're going to do it for the police, do it for the firemen, do it for all. You know? I mean, if it's good for one, it should be good for all. Thank you very much for your time. I know it's a long night.
Hang on one second, Councilman.
I agree with you, Mr. Brasso. I think that the fire department would certainly be suitable to have the same rights. I'm going to talk to the fire chief, Mr. Castillo, and see if he would suggest such a thing. But I could tell you, as it relates to that representation, I agree with you up until the point that I would almost have to say we're going to restrict them from being in leadership roles, then I don't want to employ him at all. It was like, well, if he can't serve, well, then why should he work in this city or this parish? So, you know, there's been a lot of talk tonight about the people's constitutional rights and what is allowed, and the law allows it. If the law didn't allow it, we wouldn't even be talking about it. But state law, which trumps local laws, allows for this action. And I just felt it was suitable, and especially when you have the significant number of employees who are asking for it. This wasn't just one person saying, look, I need some help to favor me. This was a number of employees who say, we have some people out here who need to be considered, but we need this to happen. So I looked into it pretty thoroughly. It wasn't just a single thing, but I wouldn't have a problem bringing this forward for the fire department as well, especially when their peers, you know, are going to be voting, and their domicile really won't have a significant impact on what's going on here. So, thank you.
And please call for the vote.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes. Yes.
Approved.
This meeting's adjourned.